Hello. Hi, Rick. Are you actually there? So, hello to everyone, whether they're here or or not, is what I want to say, or on Facebook. Hi, Rick. You going to be my stage setter this evening? You don't know? Um, okay, so, huh?
Oh, I didn't realize my audio was muted. Yes, I will.
Oh, thank you. So let me see if, and yes, something is happening on Facebook, and something is also happening. One can never tell. Um, let's reload my channel. And something is also happening on YouTube. How marvelous. This actually worked. There. And I'll be putting the donation to Ham up on in the chat here and on the YouTube video. Let's see. Where do they hide the comments? There they do. There they are. Donate to HAAM. Oh, too many A's. M at this link. And on Facebook. Donate to HAAM. Do it again. Here. And if you're on Facebook or on YouTube, let me know you're there. Say hello. Well, my Facebook says I'm watching Finger Pistol live, but I'm not. So, how are you doing, Rick?
I'm doing quite well. It's been a wonderful week so far.
And it's only Tuesday. It can only get better from here.
Like I say, so far. Well, the out in the future keeps moving.
Doesn't it? Well, at least it's not moving out.
At least it's not retreating.
Yes. Although I wouldn't blame it if it did go into retreat for a little while.
Now that might be a good science fiction story. The future goes the other way.
There are those on this planet that believe the future is behind you, and that's why you can't see it, and the past is in front of you, that's why you can see that. I don't know which I subscribe to.
I was going to say, I kind of see the past a whole lot better than the future.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's like, why would you think the past was behind you? If it was behind
Because when you walk down a road, the past is behind you.
Well, that's true. I guess if you met one of the people from the cultures that believe it's not, you could have them.
I would welcome them to walk down the same road and say that the past is in front of you or the future is behind you. I mean,
Well, their argument is you can't see the future.
you can't see the past either.
Well, I guess not. Not accurately, anyway. So I'm going to entertain you for a little bit on behalf of HAM, which is the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. Are you familiar with it, Rick?
Yes, I have a number of friends who are musicians.
Oh, gosh. Well, should I say lucky you or pat you on the shoulder?
Neither one, but you can tell the people that are watching out there what you know about ham.
Okay, I will do that. What I know about ham is you can always count on them if you're in need and you have no insurance, although they do help you get insurance. But if you are in need, they will make sure that you get the health things you need. If you are a resident of Austin and a member of HAM, and it's not that difficult to become a member of HAM. You have a certain income level and you are a musician. And I'm hearing it's more and more difficult to be a resident of Austin, but so far so good for me. And even with older musicians who are now on Medicare and have backup plans, nobody covers dental unless you pay for it. Nobody covers vision unless you pay for it. No one covers, let's see. I can't remember what the other thing is, but HAM will cover it if you're an Austin musician. And I know many people who have, I don't want to say taken advantage. I know many people whose heinies have been saved as a result of being members of HAM.
I guess you could say they needed it and it was there.
That's right.
That's better than saying they took advantage of it, I think.
Yes, yes. And I've been a musician in Austin for a very long time, and this was not always the case. So once a year, we gather together or separately on separate stages, this year anyway, and express our gratitude and help raise money so that HAM can keep doing the work that they do. And that's what today, September 14th, has been all about. This year, there was an hour of HAM musicians on the TV on CBS, I think. One of those, KVUE or KXAN, I can't remember which one. And there's been shows going on online and on stage all afternoon. And it's been just lovely. I tuned into Vanessa Lively's show earlier today, and she did her whole new album for us. It was wonderful. I'm going to do some songs from each of my albums and some brand new stuff that I wrote during the pandemic. And this is one that is, let's see, where is it? It's on, whoops. There it goes. Siren Song, which is my second to latest album. And it's about a medical issue, although it probably won't sound like that to you. But the reason it was written was because I had a back injury. And they gave me one of those things that you hang on your rearview mirror to say that you can park right next to the door of the grocery store, which made me get really spoiled really fast. And I thought, when this expires, which it was going to in about 6 months, I'm going to be really sad. Hi, Lisa. And on the day that it did expire, I was not really sad. I looked in the wastebasket where I threw it, and I wrote this song. Today I cast away my crutches, 'cause the truth is I don't need them anymore. And though I had some doubt, still I shouted hallelujah. And I won't care, no friend to stare when I'm out there on the floor. If I got a choice, I got a chance, I gotta dance. Today I boxed up my excuses with other useless things, took them down to the Goodwill store, and I couldn't take a risk. Top of my list of things to do, yeah. And if I've never, ever done that step before, if I got a choice, I got a chance, I gotta dance. listening, if you're dismissing my dreams anymore, I got a choice, I got a chance, I got a dance. I got a choice, and I got a chance, so I'm gonna dance. Thank you. So, Lisa, you know Rick, I presume.
Yes.
I love that. I'm always trying to make up songs about dancing. I love it.
Me too. I mean, making up songs about dancing. I also love that song, but I have some bias, I think. So, I heard I got writing credit on If It Wasn't for Her the other day. I'm not sure why.
Well, I'm not sure if it was writing credit or performing credit.
It should be performing credit.
Yeah, I think
But-
that's what it was.
That song existed before Emily and I started to do it together. Just wanted to make sure that was the case. So, speaking of dancing, this is on. Now, I'm afraid to reach behind me and pull the albums out because I've already dropped one on the floor. But this is on this album, which when you look at it, it's called Everyday People.
When you look
When
at
you-
it, it blinds you.
Yes,
Yeah,
don't look
yeah.
at it. Okay. It has your picture on the cover.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And when you look at it online, it just looks great because I have a picture of the cover that it's supposed to be up there on websites and whatnot. But Amazon declined to ask me what to do with it. So it's just this black blob on Amazon. But really, this was Andy's idea. And when he finished describing it to me, you know Andy, yeah. When he finished describing it to me, he said, but that's going to be way too expensive. And I said, too bad, because that's what we're doing. And we looked everywhere to find the paper that would give a mirror image of the person looking in it that wasn't real distorted. And when we finally found it, it was incredibly expensive. But we did it anyhow. And we had to hand stuff all the albums to put this cover on it because the machine that they use sucks it up with this round thing and deposits it inside the CD case, and it would have ruined the mirror, so we couldn't do that. So I had them ship me the finished CD and a bunch of empty cases, and we did it all with white cotton gloves by hand.
I may have to have one of those. There's nothing like a hand-created CD there.
Yeah, I think you should have one too. Rick is in charge of my backgrounds today. And speaking of dancing, this one is on that album. That's why I was talking about it. I just remembered. When those gray skies seem to be falling in, when the hard times get hotter and the good times grow thin, don't let that old rocky road rock you off of your feet. One day you'll be dancing down easy street. You gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down easy rainbow shines in the sky, and those daffodils that float on down before your eyes, and the last piece of your puzzle make your life complete. One day you'll be dancing down easy street, so you gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down easy street. One day you'll be dancing down easy street. Thank you. So I actually wrote that one when I lived in LA, unhappily, and wanted to go home. So, speaking of LA, this is how I ended up in Austin. There was this left turn. I was on my way to San Francisco, and there was this left turn. I still can't really explain it. When I left New York City, I thought walls and lights were pretty. Wide open space, well, that was Central Park. I pulled into Austin, I thought soon I would be leaving. A little bit of Texas got stuck here in my heart. Can't explain it. The sky's so big it scared me, but the people were so friendly. I kept putting off the date when I would depart for that west horizon, never realizing the longer that I waited, the more leaving would be hard. When I finally hit the road on Highway 10, I said, so long, Austin, I won't be back again. But I miss Texas every day and every night. I miss Texas
least yeehaw.
At least.
Or ye, if not ha.
Ye of little ha.
There you go. You beat me to it. Okay, so there is a message here. Oh, by the way, how's the balance between?
That's what I sent you a message about. Your voice needs to come up to match the guitar, or the guitar needs to come down a little bit.
Okay, well,
Whichever's easier.
this is easier. Okay.
Rick, you sent those messages to me rather than to Jan.
No, I sent messages to you that I meant to come to you, and I sent messages to Jan that I meant to come to Jan.
Oh. Was I delving? I'm sorry.
So try your voice again on the guitar,
Okay.
so we'll see.
I missed Texas and I will never more depart. Basically because of people like you, Rick, and you,
Much
Lisa.
better.
So hello, HJ, whomever you are. I'm going to slip over to Facebook and see if there's anybody to say hello to there. And, oh, okay, my little donate sticker is there. And good. Everything is going swimmingly. I learned that from one of my UK guests on my Any Sunday show. I'm going to sing a song about Austin because the assignment was to find a headline. The assignment was to find a headline and write about that, or a magazine story or something like that. So I got online because we only get the newspaper twice a week, so headlines are kind of few and far between. And I found this video of a story that the Austin Statesman ran. And as you know, Austin is becoming quite crowded, and the housing prices are going up accordingly, to the point where, number one, nobody can afford it, and number two, there's very little available. In fact, Elise Black, who she and her husband have a real estate agency, and she said, this was weeks ago, but I doubt if the problem's gotten a whole lot better. She said there were 125 available single-family homes, and the demand is something like 1,000 a week. So that should explain why the prices are so high. But, of course, the developers are out there trying to get whatever land they can get to develop because there's this ready market for it. And this was somebody who was talking about the land that he lived on. My daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I was the one to let it go. He used to say, if you had pliers and a roll of baling wire, you could fix most anything that broke. History's big for me. Great-great-granddad, born in slavery, when he was freed, came to Texas. Bought this land with saved up gold. His descendants each have owned it. I don't propose to be the one to lose it. So it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses, so I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. I'm leaving it to my granddaughter. I want to do that for her, 'cause she lost her dad when she was only 5. I do believe that he is watching and happy with these things I'm doing like he'd do if he was alive. And it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. That I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. She can be anything she wants to be. Write her own future. She will keep the land and story going for those who come after. And it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. That I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. Yes, I understand. But Papa Connor's land is not for sale. My daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I was the one to let it go. Thank you. I think the man's real name was Collins. I can't really remember, and because I changed the name because I didn't want to get sued. But it was really funny watching the video. He was practically writing the song for me. The song's words are almost his exact words. And, oh my God, they rhymed.
Jan,
Yes.
you're about halfway through. I wasn't sure whether you were going to pitch Ham some more or what.
Oh, am I really? Wow, that flew by. Yes, I am definitely going to pitch Ham some more. Thank you. Yes, Ham, Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. That's what this show is all about. Every dime of proceeds will go to Ham. There's a donate button in the chat. If you can't see it, wave at me and I will put it up again. Oh, you can't see it. Okay.
Well, because I wasn't here at the get-go, and you only
Yeah,
get
no.
the chat.
Right.
You only get the chat that when you're in the Zoom.
You can scroll back up the chat.
Not me,
No, she can't.
because I wasn't here when it was posted.
Oh,
But
Okay.
I will put in a plug for him. If it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't be here.
There you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I mean, there's a number of things that would not have happened for me if it hadn't been for him. And I am.
and you two are not the only ones. I've heard it from almost every musician that I know here in town.
Yeah.
They're definitely Ham. Yes.
Yes. And I'm grateful and honored to be able to do this for them. That makes me really happy. In fact, they were on the news tonight. There was a representative and she was talking about it.
cool.
And I was standing in the kitchen trying to grab my dinner before I had to do this and tears rolling down my cheeks. You know? If it wasn't for them, oh my God. Baby's pretending she's dancing on the ceiling, leaping over chandeliers, reaching out her hands to touch the floor. Her daddy's on his way home, any minute he'll be coming through the door. And just for this moment, everything is all right. And I know that cannot last, 'cause I've learned from the past, you cannot stop the travels of time. But just for this moment, everything is fine. Long ago I read this moment. Everything is all right, and I know that it will end, and even the memory will slowly dim and fade. Just for this moment, everything's okay. Moments come and go, love will ebb and flow, and children grow, and we don't live forever. So I want you to know I love you so, and I'm so glad we're together. The way it is today, there, but for the grace, praise on my mind, and colors my thoughts constantly. But every now and then my eyes will open, so I can see that just for this moment, everything is all right. And I know that we'll move on, and the moment will be gone, and I wouldn't change that even if I could. Just for this moment, life is so good. Thank you. I know what I want to do.
Well, we got a friend of mine here, Don Balding, is watching from Temple.
Hi, Don. Nice to meet you. This is for Lisa and for, I don't know if he's even watching, but if he is, Scott, this is for you, because we met Scott in the Midlands in England in like 2005 or something like that. And I had not brought my guitar with me, and I was really jonesing for some way to make some music. And he came up with his son's guitar. He was a manager at the hotel, which was a manor house that we were staying in. And I mean a real one. Like the woman who owned it did a little afternoon tea with us, and she said when she first got married, her husband didn't tell her that he was lord of the manor somewhere, and he took her to see his mother, and his mother lived in the house. So when he pulled up in front of the driveway, he said, "And if you marry me, one day this will all be yours." And she said, "Oh my God." It was quite impressive. But Scott was the manager of the hotel portion of the house, and we have not seen him since. But I played him a couple tunes on his son's guitar, and he liked them, and he bought a couple albums from me, and he was humming this song the other day and found me on Facebook to let me know he still remembered this one.
Orale!
See the boys at the border singing so sweetly, dreaming their dreams of sharkskin suits and late nights on the Carson show, like Julio in the spotlight. Little boys at the border, hope in their eyes, cars passing by like phantoms in the late night. But all must stop to hear those voices clear in the headlights. They learned to sing at the altar, and now they pray at the border on the gods of the Northland. In California, a choir of dark-eyed angels, they're passing their halos and singing sweet lullabies to the tourists at the gates of paradise. Muchachos de la cantando un sueño lindo y dulce de fama y fortuna. La noche yo me paro a oír sus voces como angelitos who learn to sing at the altar and now they pray at the border on the gods of the Northland in Los Angelinos, a choir of ragged angels. They're passing their halos and singing sweet lullabies to the tourists at the gates of paradise. All the boys at the border serenade songs of faith and fantasy in the late night under star-spangled skies, awaiting entrance to paradise.
Órale, gracias.
It was really hard to find an image that didn't include an image of the walls. And
Yes.
so that's
Yeah.
what's in the news. So all the pictures I could find, this is about the only one I could find, are just people.
Well, where it came from was at the border crossing, where you get to show your passport and prove you get to come over the line here. I have some opinions on this subject. I'll refrain. But there were people there selling your last chance to spend your life savings, which frankly was already gone while we were there because we'd spent the weekend in Ensenada and bought up everything in sight. But also there were these boys who any one of them could have been dropped into the Vienna Boys Choir and nobody would have noticed. They were that good. And one of them leaned down and stuck his hat into the car, and it was obvious what we were supposed to do, so we did it. But at the end of our doing it, he pulled the hat back out and he leaned down and he scrutinized everybody in the car. What is that? Well, years later, I saw George Benson on Johnny Carson, and he was talking about how the first time he ever got paid for making music, it was on the street. And he was showing his cousin a lick he had just learned from his teacher. And his cousin, it gathered a crowd almost immediately. And his cousin took off his hat and walked through the crowd, filled up the hat with money. And George Benson said, after that, I never wanted to do anything else. So there he was on Johnny Carson. And I'm sure those boys were looking for Johnny Carson's booking manager. But we were not him, so I decided I'd commemorate them in a song because they might not be commemorated otherwise. Let's see. It is 8:40. Time to mention Ham again. For those who just got here, the link is on the chat and it's also on the Facebook and YouTube feeds of this show. And what it's about is the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. This is Ham Day, the day to donate so that all of the Austin musicians can be availed of Ham's services, which are many. And as Lisa pointed out, there are many musicians who frankly would not be here if it hadn't been for the Health Alliance for Austin Musicians. So please donate as generously as you dare. And I'm honored to be the one presenting that to you right at this moment. I'm going to play some piano. Because otherwise, why did I bring it here? I know there's a piano behind me, but there's also one in front of me. Let's see. My daughter, Raina, got to watch 9/11 happen right outside her bedroom window. And she called me up afterwards when the dust was settling. And she said, she was there to go to school. And she said, should I come home? And I said, you have to do your life anyhow. I mean, you're going to have to, so you might as well do it there. I know you've been watching the world go by, and so often it makes you cry and wonder if it's worth rising in the morning. But though it causes you so much pain, sooner or later it all will change. That's what it always does. When everything you counted on, everything you thought was true, turns around and runs away from you. What can you do but live your whole life, give your whole heart anyway? Speak your whole mind, seek your whole truth anyway. One foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day, any way you have to. I know you want to, but you're afraid. But what makes you feel that way is the message of fear you're hearing every day. But don't listen to what they say. Some people live their whole lives that way, but that's not you. We only have a moment, and it won't last. Lots of other hard times are in your past. The future's up to you, so live your whole life, give your whole heart anyway. Speak your whole mind, seek your whole truth anyway. One foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day, any way you have to, any way you can, any way you'll have to, anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So did she stay put?
She did, and she finished school, and she is now the vice president in charge of public relations for HBO Max. So, yeah. I mean, that could not have happened at UT.
No kidding. Where did she go to school?
The FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology. Yeah. And she started out majoring in fashion marketing and ended up majoring in public relations. Do you remember when she used to sell CDs for me?
Yeah.
She was way better at it than I ever would have been. I'd say she's found her calling.
How fitting, as it were.
I wish I were the person on that bench over there watching the world go by. That I found this pretty fitting picture there.
Yes, it's lovely. I wish too. Huh.
You're very good at that, Rick.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you. You can't use what you got put up the last time. Where are all the Gretas and Marlenas? And all the Mae Wests, where are they? No one tells the boys, come up and see me sometime. That's all out of style nowadays. But I still long for old times, steamy romance, and satin gowns and stockings with seams, and men that wear trench coats and fedora hats. I wish they'd bring that all back, 'cause I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna whistle like Bacall and have 'em all eating from my hand. a stall, competing for my glance. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Though I am a liberated woman, sometimes I'd prefer to be a tease. And when I love it. When I see those starlets with eyes come hither soft, I could pull that off, it seems to me. You see? And buy me clothes and bring me jewelry, and open doors and pull me out a seat, and then stand by politely until I'd sit. Enjoy my sparkling wit, a little risque repartee with a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna be the party doll that upsets all their other plans. I know it isn't fashionable, but it's so elegant. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Dietrich and Davis, they had it made. Mansfield and Monroe, hey, where'd they all go? Well, the women we admire now in the movies are all doctors and lawyers and chiefs. They don't flutter their lashes or swing their hips. They don't pout their lips or sit on anyone's knee. And if they're in some older profession, they've all been reformed by Act 3. They've given up their cigarettes and champagne. I guess we've come a long way, but I sure miss the day of the femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna give the boys the eye and call some guy my honey lamb. I'd have 'em all in a spell. I'd have 'em in a trance. If I was a femme fatale, I would be sensational. I wanna be a vamp.
Mission accomplished. Yay.
You like
Thank
the
you.
picture?
I love that picture. And you know what? I have a hat like that. I think I'll just keep it beside
You
me.
gotta
for
you
now.
gotta wear it when you play that song. I mean,
Exactly. Exactly. Let's see. What time is it now? I'm going to do two from my most recent project, which I'll tell you about. It's because it's in further development, which is unusual for me, and I didn't have any idea this would happen. The project is called Unsung, and it's the stories of people in the Bible who didn't get to tell their stories, so you've never heard them. And it turned into a book, this book, because it started out this album. And then Vanessa Lively and I got together, and I did the line drawings and she did the watercolors, and it's the lyrics and a little backstory and these wonderful pictures. I mean, I sent her scribbles and she sent me back art. This was the first one she did, and I just lost it when I saw it. You know, oh, that's gorgeous. Really? You got that out of what I sent you? Anyway, it's turning into a musical. I have a coach, and I have a story arc, and I have an opening number, and I have all these songs. And so really, the actual musical is not far away. And I've wanted to write a musical for like decades. And I was talking with this mentor, and I suddenly realized I was getting my wish, one of my fondest wishes. So I'm going to play a couple songs from that project.
Oh, Jen, that's so exciting.
I know. It's almost like it's happening to someone else because I'm looking at it and going, really? I actually get to do this? So, in the interest of being able to actually get through these songs, excuse me. This was one of the first ones. And you'll recognize the character, I think, for those of you who haven't heard these songs before. But if not, I can tell you what her name is. The thing about her that caught my attention and made this whole thing start was she was responsible for 8 of the 12 tribes. There are 2 sentences about her in the biblical tale, and one of them is that she had either weak or cow-like eyes, depending on what translation you read. And I thought she deserved quite a bit more than that. I have kind of an inflated sense of responsibility, so I took this on. It's my job to tell these stories. As far back as I remember, I was always Rachel's sister. Sometimes I think that started before she was even born. She was lively, she was clever, and everybody loved her. And when the men came looking, it was Rachel they looked for, not me. I was Rachel's sister. Jacob saw her fetching water, asked if she was Laban's daughter, and she ran home to let us know, to make room for one more. I fell in love that night at dinner. He never saw for watching her, and when the meal was over, it was Rachel he asked for, not me. Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, yep. But those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. They said Jacob was the trickster, but my father brought me forward on Rachel's wedding day, draped in veils upon his arm. But then Jacob worked the harder, and for Rachel too he bartered. Still, I thought I'd win him when each new son was born. To me, Rachel's sister. But every night I'd hear her whisper, give me sons like you gave my sister, and prove that you love me. Prove you love me more. So then one night he did it, and little Joseph was his favorite. But Rachel died in childbirth when her second son was born, leaving me, Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. Every now and then I wonder, is he still thinking of her, though I'm the one that keeps him warm when the nights are cold? Did she love him as I love him, or did she just love to win? But she is blessed memory, so I will never know. I am only Rachel's sister. Not the one the old men told, it's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister, and it can only be told by Rachel's sister.
Love that song.
Thank you.
By the way, I don't know how tight your time schedule is, but you got 3 minutes.
Yes, and I'm going to do a very short song. And if
That
you'd
is
like,
a great idea, by the way. That that one about the figures in the Bible that never get to say anything.
thank
Neat.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. So I kind of had a field day, and there was a point at which they started kind of writing themselves. And I thought they'd be all women, and they weren't. I thought they'd be all Old Testament because I'm Jewish. That's what I know. And they weren't. And after a while, I just kind of let go of the reins and let it go where it wanted to go. And so one of the places it turned out it wanted to go was it got a little gloomy at my house. And I decided I needed something either lighthearted or funny. So I went hunting for humor in the Bible. There's not a lot of it. If you want to find humor in the Bible, you're going to have to bring it. So I did. I picked out a couple characters and I wrote songs about what their lives might have been like.
Jan, see me about Bible jokes.
Oh, okay. I definitely will. So this is one of the characters I thought would, you'll see. Dear Mama, you ask if I am enjoying my place as Solomon's latest wife. Yeah, it's got its moments. What can I say? It's a life. Right now, I'm his darling, and I'm calling that a plus. Though the other wives say his attentions will fade when a new face inspires his lust. That's why there's so many of us. No, Mom, he doesn't sing like his father did. At least not when he's with me. But he's built a beautiful temple, Mama, and he writes decent poetry. Oh, he's a glorious king to be sure, and masterful in the boudoir, and you might think that's all he is good for. But really, he's pretty smart. Just last week, 2 women quarreled about a baby they both claimed. When he offered to cut the child in 2, we all thought he'd gone insane. But it sure got that knot untangled. So if he doesn't sing like his father did, he's still all right with us, 'cause he's built a beautiful temple. There is. And his poetry makes us blush. Well, Mom, I gotta go now. I'll try to write more later, 'cause it seems there's a queen needs my room for a bit. And they say that she's wealthy and oh so bewitching. And the king's so excited he's positively twitching. And I just became second rate. But oddly enough, I don't hate her, 'cause he doesn't sing like his father did. And I'm bored with his poetry. So though he's built a beautiful temple, Mama, she can have him, it's okay with me. Yes.
Thank you for the concert, and good, yay for ham.
Thank you. Once again, if you'd like to be on my mailing list and know when and where, please put your address on the chat here, and I'll make sure that the rest happens. I promise no spam, just interesting stories, or I like to think so, and a list of where to find me. And if you want to donate to ham, and I hope you do, please use the link in the chat or the link on the Facebook or the link on the YouTube version of this show. And Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
Peace out.
Peace out. Thanks for being here. Can we all unveil to say goodbye? I guess not. Well, in any case, goodbye. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
My pleasure.